Hi, these are some silent warm-up exercises which have served me well over the years, particularly all the times I've had to warm up or stay warm without making a sound. They've been extremely helpful. I also start my practicing this way because that way, when I actually start playing, I'm already warmed up. So I start with the bow and I just work on the balance between the first and fourth finger. What I'm doing is I'm pressing down the stick with my fourth finger. That makes the tip go up, and then I release it again. So what I do is I press down and I release. Do that a couple of times. Then I go all the way up and then I climb up the stick. You probably know this exercise. It's very good because it loosens the muscles. When I get to the tip, I turn the bow around and I do the same exercise at the tip of the bow. This is much more difficult because the frog is much heavier than the tip, so you're working your fourth finger quite hard. So don't overdo it. Again, slowly and controlled, that makes it more effective. And then I turn the bow around again and climb back down. Nice to loosen your muscles now after you've worked the fourth finger so hard. Next thing I do is I straighten my fingers and I curl them again. Make sure you don't go all the way because you don't want to lock your fingers in any position which you can't get back from without a jerk. Just go as far as the thumb and the fourth finger are not quite straight yet, so that you can get back without a jerk. Also here, do it slowly and controlled. It doesn't matter how far you get, it's the movement which you're practicing. Next thing, you lean your hand forward and you do basically the same movement, stretch and curl, except now your bow is going from side to side instead of up and down. Otherwise it's the same. Next thing I do is I combine those two movements by doing a circular movement. You can use your wrist a little bit as well, that's not a problem. You can also isolate it completely and only use your fingers, and then use your wrist a little bit again, because that's more like you would be actually using this if you'd be playing. This is up bows, and then I turn around and I do it the other way around. That would be down bows on the string. And when I've done that, I usually climb back up and down the stick again so that I can relax my muscles. And then basically my right hand is warmed up and ready to go. For the left hand, I do percussion exercises. That's this. Now, the first thing you need to know about percussion is that your hand has to be completely relaxed. You have to let your hand drop the finger on the string. You're letting it fall on the string. You're not doing anything by force. If you're tense and you're trying to press it down by force, you definitely won't get a percussion sound and you're not warming up your hand. So make sure you're relaxed. The goal is not to be as noisy as possible. The goal is to be as relaxed as possible and to do the movements precisely. So I'll start off with demonstrating the exercise for you, and then I'll break it down for you so that you get an idea of what I'm actually doing. And so on. I go all the way up to the top. What I'm doing is I'm starting in first position and I'm placing the half tone between third and fourth finger. So the others are in whole tones. I'll show you again. Whole tone, half tone. Then I put the half tone between second and third. So again I have whole tone, half tone, whole tone. And then I place the half tone between first and second. So I have half tone, whole tone, whole tone. And then I move up half a tone. Do the same thing again. Whole tone, half tone. And then whole tone, half tone, whole tone. And then half tone, whole tone, whole tone. and you move your way up, all the way up the string. I'll play it to you with the bow once, and for the beginning I would recommend you also play it with the bow so that you get an idea of what notes you're actually playing, and after a short while you won't need the bow anymore, and then you actually have a nice silent warm-up exercise for the left hand. So I'll play it with the bow once so that you get an idea. I keep going all the way up, and I do it on all the strings. If I have time to kill, I actually do it on all the strings, but for my everyday practicing, I do it on one string and then I do it on another string the next day. The next thing I do is glissandos without pressing the string down. I start with the first finger, and make sure your finger remains in constant contact with the string, and do a nice smooth movement all the way up and back down again. Movement has to be smooth. Relax, there's no reason to be tense for anything because you're not even pressing any string down. Same thing with the second finger, third finger, and fourth finger. Then you can do it with several fingers, you can do it with all four, and do that on all strings. Basically, you're just practicing a smooth arm movement and a feeling of the fingers being in contact with the string without pressing it down. After that, after both of those exercises, your left hand will be warm. I hope you find this helpful. Bye.